the arches. Notice how the colors play off that far wall. Some stained glass over on that side of the building. This is one of my most favorite artifacts to see in an old cathedral. This ladder device, which is capable obviously of being moved about this church, is designed to extend. It has, I think, 3 different levels of extension to get you way up there, to clean the windows, to do whatever needs to be done. Just like an extension ladder, it has a device for locking one section to the other once you have it in position. Quite sure that's what this mechanism was for. Notice the cables only go from there to there, so it's just to pull down or lock down this portion here from that toothed portion that's on the taller structure. This mechanism that raises the ladder, or ladders. Notice those devices down there for leveling this up. And I can't figure out what this mechanism is for. This just puts tension right in this area here, but it locks into teeth right there for some reason. Teeth that are mounted on that tall vertical beam, that somehow this tall structure could come down at a flatter angle to make it easier perhaps to get in and out of those doors if it had to be done. And this right side arm, the graphics are restrained, perhaps not wanting to take away from the dramatic stained glass. Complemented by the lightness of this large chandelier. These do not appear to be old or particularly interesting. A small organ for some purpose. Very nice artwork in the sense of its coloration and so forth. That's not a commentary on art. Of all the human beings who've passed through this church, this person, a man presumably, had the cred to lie here for eternity. Was it a churchman or the wealthy man that paid for this portion of this church, this side chapel? Notice how the stained glass is simply graphics. Detailed, complex, but simply graphics. So it doesn't take away from this structure, if you will, to house the altar. Love the play of light through the arches. A magnificent rose is blocked in part by that organ. Not terribly dramatic. Here another side chapel. This shot because of the contrast between the paintings on the left and the stained glass on the right. canopy is interesting. I've never looked under one specifically before. I love the complexity of angles and curves and colors. Very rich colored stained glass, almost too much so. Tell whether this is some kind of small altar or a confessional. The thing that's novel about it as a confessional is that you can see who the person is, you just can't read their lips. It's to be made of iron. I doubt it is. Circles seem to, of course, imply heads. And also the different sizes of those balls implies cannonballs. Again, I get the sense it has something to do with imprisonment. Maybe the consequences of war. That may indicate something that could be towed behind a vehicle like a tank. Some of these protuberances may just represent machinery, like those gears. It may reflect, at least to me, the mix of machinery, technology, and human beings all ground up into this. I'll pan around so we have a perspective or a context for this church and this park. Surrounded, at least on that side, by somewhat majestic buildings. And then it degenerates into ordinary, large, old buildings. Degenerates too pejorative to use. My apologies. These lounging chairs are put here for the benefit of whoever wants to sit in them. There's more stacked over there. This ant has any clue? Isn't that ant very much like humans and the universe? Or at least what it was 100 years ago? Now we know too much about our universe to be this ant. Hi, ant. And now wandering generally back towards, in a roundabout way, my hostel, looking for a place to eat my sandwich. Another interesting square, but not tourist inundated. Don't know what that curious structure there is for. Maybe just a restaurant. Looks like an interesting statue. We'll go over and take a look. Interesting castle-like building.